Have you ever wondered how often sexual harassment occurs in the nursing profession, a field dominated by compassion and care? This question may seem unsettling, but it's an unfortunate reality that needs to be addressed. The nursing profession, often hailed as the backbone of the healthcare industry, is not immune to the pervasive issue of sexual harassment. It's a world where the care of others is paramount, where empathy and understanding are the currencies of the day. Yet, behind this noble facade, a darker truth often lies obscured. Sexual harassment in nursing is a topic that's often shied away from. It's an unseen issue, hidden in the shadows of the healthcare industry. This isn't because it's insignificant or rare, rather it's because the nature of the problem is uncomfortable and difficult to confront. It's a problem that lurks beneath the surface, often unnoticed and unreported, yet it's ever present and deeply damaging. This issue is not confined to a particular region or country, it's a global concern. It occurs with an alarming regularity, affecting countless nurses regardless of their gender, age, or years of experience. It's a silent epidemic, often swept under the rug, unspoken yet undeniably prevalent. The magnitude of the problem is substantial, yet it's hard to grasp without concrete numbers. But we don't need statistics to understand the gravity of the situation. We know it exists, we know it's widespread, and we know it's damaging. The stories of those affected speak volumes about the deeply ingrained issue of sexual harassment within the nursing profession. As we delve into this topic, we'll pull back the curtain to reveal the unseen. We'll shine a light on the experiences of those who have been affected, the ripple effects of such incidents, and the strategies for prevention and intervention. We are here to voice the unvoiced, to shed light on a problem too often left in the dark. Together we will explore, understand, and hopefully instigate change. This unseen issue, hidden behind the curtains of the healthcare industry, is what we'll explore today. In the heart of our discussion today lies the experiences of those who have lived through it. Let's delve into the life of a nurse we'll call Irina, to maintain her anonymity. Irina, a dedicated healthcare professional, worked in a high-stress emergency ward of a hospital in a bustling city. Her passion for aiding those in need was evident in her every action. However, behind the scenes of this noble cause, an unwelcome shadow lurked. Irina began to experience unwanted attention from a senior colleague. Initially, it started as seemingly innocent comments about her appearance, but soon spiraled into overtly sexual remarks and unwarranted physical contact. Irina, like many others in her position, was torn between her duty to her patients and her personal dignity. The emotional impact was profound. Irina was constantly plagued by anxiety and distress. The hospital, once her sanctuary of healing, had turned into a battlefield where she had to constantly guard her personal space and dignity. Her professional life was tainted, and her personal life was equally affected. Sleepless nights, constant worry, and a sense of helplessness began to erode her spirit. Irina's performance at work started to falter. The continuous stress was taking its toll not only on her mental well-being but also on her ability to effectively perform her duties. She found herself making minor errors, her concentration waning under the weight of her ordeal. However, the fear of retaliation and the potential loss of her job kept her silent. She was faced with a difficult choice. Should she endure the torment silently, risking her mental health and professional performance, or should she voice her concerns, potentially endangering her job? It was a decision no one should be forced to make. After a particularly distressing incident, Irina finally mustered the courage to report the harassment. She was met with mixed reactions. Some colleagues offered their support while others questioned her intentions. The process was grueling and emotionally draining, but Irina stood her ground. The aftermath was a bitter-sweet victory. The colleague in question was reprimanded, but the workplace dynamics had changed. Irina felt a sense of isolation, and the whispers of gossip were a constant reminder of her ordeal. However, she also felt a sense of relief and empowerment, knowing that she had stood up for herself and potentially prevented others from suffering the same fate. The emotional and professional impact was significant. Irina found herself questioning her career choice, her trust in her colleagues was shaken, and her passion for nursing was tainted by the experience. However, she also discovered an inner strength that she didn't know existed. This is but one of the many untold stories that occur within the sterile walls of our healthcare institutions. Another tale, another nurse, but a similar story of distress. This time, we find ourselves in the bustling corridors of a major city hospital. Our protagonist, let's call her Olga, is a diligent, compassionate nurse, hailing from the frosty landscapes of Russia. She's been in the field for over 2 decades, a testament to her unwavering commitment to patient care. Olga's story is one of resilience and determination. Like many others in her profession, she was not spared from the uncomfortable reality of sexual harassment. One day, a regular patient, known for his inappropriate comments, crossed the line. He made unsolicited advances and explicit remarks, leaving Olga feeling violated and shaken. Rather than remaining silent, Olga decided to take action. She reported the incident to her immediate supervisor, providing a detailed account of what had transpired. Her courage was met with support from her colleagues, but the immediate response from the management was, unfortunately, less than satisfactory. This echoes a common theme in many such incidents: the lack of effective, immediate action from those in power. Despite this initial setback, Olga refused to back down. She persisted, escalating her complaint to the hospital's higher authorities. She faced resistance, and at times, even attempts at discrediting her experience. But Olga was unyielding, standing firm against the waves of doubt and denial. Her courage bore fruit when the hospital finally launched an official investigation into her complaint. The patient was confronted, and after several weeks of inquiry and deliberation, was banned from the hospital due to his inappropriate behavior. Olga's bravery had not only secured her own safety, but also set a precedent for others to follow. However, the aftermath of this incident was not all triumphant. Olga found herself dealing with a host of emotional and psychological repercussions. Her trust in her work environment was shaken, and she suffered from bouts of anxiety and distress. She sought help from a mental health professional, and with time, she began to regain her confidence and sense of safety. Olga's story serves as a stark reminder of the silent epidemic of sexual harassment that plagues healthcare professions. It also highlights the importance of standing up against such behavior, no matter how daunting the journey might seem. Olga's courage, resilience, and determination are an inspiration for others facing similar situations. Her experience also underscores the vital need for robust policies and procedures in healthcare institutions to address such incidents swiftly and effectively. As we delve deeper into this issue, we must remember that while each story is unique, they all underscore the urgent need to tackle this silent epidemic head-on. A different experience, but the same underlying issue: the silent epidemic of sexual harassment. We must continue to bring these stories to light, to spark conversations, and to inspire change. Remember, change begins with awareness, and awareness begins with you. The impact of such incidents extends far beyond the individuals involved. When we talk about sexual harassment, we often focus on the direct victims. But, like a stone thrown into a pond, the ripples of harassment spread far and wide, touching those even on the periphery. It's not just an individual problem, it's a systemic one. Imagine a team of healthcare professionals, nurses, doctors, technicians, working in a tightly knit group. They're not just colleagues, they're a lifeline for each other in high-stress situations. Now imagine, one member of this group becomes a target of harassment. The harmony breaks down, trust erodes. The team dynamic is disturbed and the unity compromised. This discord doesn't just affect the team, it cascades down to patient care. Nurses are the primary caregivers in healthcare. They're the ones who spend the most time with patients, providing comfort, answering questions, ensuring medication is taken. If a nurse is dealing with the emotional stress of harassment, their ability to fully focus on their patients is compromised. And it doesn't stop there. The overall work environment takes a hit too. When harassment is allowed to persist, it sends a message that such behavior is tolerated. It creates an environment of fear and silence where others may hesitate to voice their concerns or report similar incidents. Moreover, the reputation of the healthcare institution is at stake. It's a question of credibility. If a hospital cannot protect its own staff, how can it be trusted to care for its patients? So you see, the ripple effects of harassment go far beyond the immediate victim. It disrupts team dynamics, compromises patient care, impacts the work environment, and can even tarnish the reputation of the institution. The ripple effect of such incidents can be far-reaching, affecting the very fabric of our healthcare system. Addressing the issue starts with acknowledging its existence. Sexual harassment in the nursing field is an uncomfortable truth. It's a shadow that lurks in the corners of our hospitals, clinics, and care homes. But just like any other disease, the first step to treating it is recognizing its presence. Imagine a wound festering beneath a bandage. If we ignore it, hoping it will heal on its own, the infection will only spread. Similarly, if we ignore the issue of sexual harassment, it will continue to thrive, causing harm to our nurses and the healthcare system as a whole. It is crucial to shine a light on this issue, to remove the bandage and expose the wound. Only then can we begin the process of healing. Reporting sexual harassment is not just a personal responsibility, it's a collective one. Each report chips away at the wall of silence that surrounds this issue. It brings us one step closer to a work environment where nurses can perform their duties without fear or discomfort. But reporting isn't always easy. It requires courage and a supportive environment, which brings us to the role of nursing leaders and administrators. Leaders in nursing play a pivotal role in breaking the silence on sexual harassment. Their actions set the tone for the entire institution. They have the power to create a culture where reporting is encouraged, not discouraged. An environment where victims are supported, not shamed. A place where perpetrators are held accountable, not protected. Administrators, on the other hand, have the power to take action. They can implement policies that deter harassment, provide training to staff, and ensure that reported incidents are thoroughly investigated. They also have a responsibility to provide support to victims to assure them they are not alone, and that their voices are heard. Moreover, nursing leaders and administrators can actively work towards creating a diverse and inclusive environment. An environment where respect and dignity are the norm, not the exception. This not only helps in preventing sexual harassment, but also promotes a healthy work culture. However, the responsibility doesn't end with the leaders. Every member of the healthcare community, from doctors to janitors, has a part to play. By standing up against inappropriate behavior, by supporting their colleagues, and by refusing to be silent, they can contribute to a safer and more respectful work environment. In conclusion, breaking the silence on sexual harassment in nursing is not just about speaking up, it's about creating a culture where such behavior is unacceptable. It's about supporting victims and holding perpetrators accountable. It's about building a safer, healthier work environment for our nurses, who are the backbone of our healthcare system. Breaking the silence is the first step towards change. Institutional measures can play a significant role in curbing this issue. It's not just about reacting, but proactively creating an environment that discourages any form of harassment. Firstly, clear policies are paramount. They serve as the backbone of a safe workplace, explicitly defining what constitutes as harassment and setting out repercussions for violations. These policies should be comprehensive, covering all forms of harassment, and should be communicated effectively to all employees. This is not a document to be hidden in a drawer, but a guiding principle to be lived by every day. Next, let's talk about training programs. These are not just a box to be checked, but a critical tool in prevention. An effective training program should not only cover the legal aspects, but also delve into practical scenarios, fostering empathy and understanding. It's about creating a culture of respect, where everyone feels valued and protected. Now, these policies and training are beneficial, but only if they are strictly enforced. This is where the role of leadership comes in. Leaders should not only uphold these policies but also set an example. They must maintain zero tolerance towards any form of harassment and ensure that any reported incidents are dealt with promptly and fairly. The fear of retribution often prevents victims from speaking out. Therefore, it's crucial to have a secure reporting system that maintains the confidentiality of the victim. Lastly, remember that these are not one-time solutions, but ongoing efforts. Regular reviews and updates should be made to the policies and training programs, incorporating feedback from employees and adapting to the changing workplace dynamics. By setting clear expectations and consequences, we can create a safer space for all healthcare professionals. It's about creating a culture where everyone feels respected and protected, where harassment has no place. It's not just about preventing incidents, but about empowering every individual to stand up against harassment. And remember, this change starts with us. In times of distress, support can be a beacon of hope. When facing the distressing reality of sexual harassment, it's crucial to remember that you're not alone. There are systems in place ready to provide the support that is needed. Peer support plays a significant role in this process. Many times, colleagues who've had similar experiences can offer a unique perspective, a listening ear, and a comforting shoulder. They can provide advice on how to navigate the situation, how to report it, or simply how to cope with the emotional aftermath. This form of support can often bridge the gap between feeling isolated and feeling understood, but peer support isn't the only resource available. Professional counseling services can be invaluable. These professionals are trained to help individuals process trauma, manage stress, and develop coping mechanisms. They provide a safe space to express feelings, fears, and uncertainties without judgment. They can also guide you towards other resources such as legal advice or advocacy groups. Moreover, many organizations now have robust internal support systems. These may include dedicated hotlines for reporting harassment, human resource policies that protect victims, and training programs that educate employees about sexual harassment. These systems are designed to ensure that victims are heard, their experiences are taken seriously, and appropriate actions are taken to address the issue. It's also worth noting that there are numerous external resources available. National hotlines, online forums, and nonprofit organizations can provide advice, support, and a sense of community. They can help victims understand their rights, navigate the legal system, and connect with others who've had similar experiences. Remember, reaching out for support is not a sign of weakness. It's an act of courage. It's standing up for oneself and refusing to be silenced. It's about reclaiming power over your own life. And for those of us who are bystanders, let's remember to lend our support. Let's listen, let's believe, let's stand up against injustice, because when we support each other, we create a safer, healthier, more respectful work environment. Together, we can make a difference. Change begins with a single step, and that step starts with you. Yes, you. It's time we collectively take a stand against sexual harassment in the healthcare sector, particularly amongst our hardworking nurses. It's time to say, enough is enough. You see, the power to affect change is within us all. We can choose to be silent bystanders, or we can choose to be the voice of change. We can choose to ignore, or we can choose to intervene. It's time to make that choice. It's time to take that step. Let's stand up for our colleagues who have been victims of such deplorable actions. Let's be their strength when they feel weak, their voice when they feel silenced. Let's ensure they know they're not alone, that they have a community standing behind them, ready to support and fight for them. Let's promote a safe work environment where respect and dignity are the foundation of our interactions. An environment where every nurse, regardless of their gender, race, or stature, feels safe and secure. An environment where merit and professionalism are the only factors that matter. Let's ensure that our policies and procedures are not just mere words on a piece of paper, but are actively implemented and enforced. Let's make sure that every incident of harassment is taken seriously, investigated thoroughly, and dealt with sternly. Let's make sure that no perpetrator goes unpunished and no victim goes unheard. Let's not just be healthcare professionals, let's be champions of change. Let's be advocates for justice. Let's be the beacon of hope in the midst of darkness. Remember, change is not an event, it's a process. It's a journey that we embark on together. It may be slow and it may be challenging, but it will be worth it. Because when we stand united against sexual harassment, we're not just making a statement, we're making a difference. Because every nurse deserves to work in an environment free from harassment. Today, we've delved into a pressing issue that is often left unspoken. We've explored the unfortunate reality of sexual harassment in the nursing profession. Through real-life instances, we've seen the extent of this problem and the profound impact it has on victims. We've also shed light on the ripple effect, how such instances of harassment affect not just the individual, but the entire healthcare system. In an effort to break the silence, we've discussed the importance of speaking up, of reporting incidents, and of refusing to let this issue be swept under the rug. We've examined the policies and procedures in place to address sexual harassment, and the support systems available to those affected. We've also made a call to action, urging everyone to be a part of the solution. Remember, acknowledging the problem is the first step towards a solution. Let's make our healthcare institutions a safe space for everyone.